Frankenstein's monster was an amalgam of bits and pieces that were stitched together to create an all-new classic character all its own. Well, today, we experiment with stitching new bits and pieces into the dice-driven board game King of Tokyo. Now, how many of this modern classic's components can we transplant before this game of rampaging monsters becomes a monster itself? Will we breathe new life into King of Tokyo? Well, let's take it into the laboratory and find out.
Saving your game from the mundane, the component proponent, yeah.
Welcome to the Component Proponent, the series where we take a look at upgrades and enhancements for board games in order to increase our immersion in the gaming experience and also just have a little bit of fun. Well, this episode, we will be taking a look at 5 different ideas for upgrading the components in the game King of Tokyo. Now, some of the upgrades featured in this episode were provided by sponsor and friend of the show, TopShelfGamer.com, who specialize in board game components and upgrades. Links to Top Shelf Gamer and the components that they provided for this episode will be included in the video's description. Now, if you're not familiar with King of Tokyo, this is a game in which each player controls a monster that wants to prove that it's king of the hill by invading Tokyo and defeating all of the competing monsters who are trying to do the same thing. Each player's monster starts the game with 10 hit points, and over the course of the game, they deal damage to each other by rolling claws on the dice during their turn. If a monster's health ever reaches 0, then they are out of the game. Fortunately, though, players may also roll hearts, which will heal some of the damage that they've taken. And they can also roll energy, which can be used to purchase upgrade cards, which give the player new powers and new abilities. Now, in addition to their hit points, each monster will also try to accumulate stars, either with lucky dice rolls or by entering Tokyo and standing their ground. The player who accumulates 20 stars first, or is the last monster standing, wins the game. Now, not only does King of Tokyo come standard with a half dozen or so different monsters right out of the box, but several additional monsters and cards have also been released as special promos. But even with all of these different extras, you'll find that they still fit perfectly fine inside the... Oh, that's a mess. Well, let's kick off our list of upgrades by organizing the contents of this box with an insert. Did you know that the insert that I've selected for King of Tokyo in this video is a wooden one produced by the Broken Token and is available from Top Shelf Gamer? Now you do! This insert's really nice because it includes spacious compartments for each of the game's components with a removable section which helps make the energy cubes that you'll be accumulating during the game easier to access and move around the table as each player needs them. And, as with most inserts produced by the Broken Token, this insert is designed to snap together. Now, applying glue during assembly is optional. However, glue can help make the insert stronger, I have found. Additionally, tip I recommend is to use tape on the corners of the insert. If you just snap together the insert, the tape will make it a lot sturdier, and if you're gluing, this will help stabilize it as it dries. This crazy awesome insert has enough room to hold all of the game's cards, even if you sleeve them. Which is good, because card sleeves are the next component upgrade on my list. Now, I know, card sleeves may not be the sexiest component upgrade featured in this video, but they can be very useful, especially in King of Tokyo. For example, my daughter and I started playing King of Tokyo before she could even read, which means that these cards have been held many times in sticky, greasy, grubby little kid hands. With King of Tokyo's accessible, family-friendly nature, I imagine that many other owners of the game may share a similar experience. Which is why card sleeves for this game can turn out to be so helpful. Because with card sleeves, you don't have to panic as frequently, because your cards are better protected against kid-based catastrophes, even if your child encourages the dog to lick the cards for some reason. And as a parent, I can confirm that plastic card sleeves are an effective way of waterproofing cards against dog slobber. And that's good, because players are going to be purchasing these cards during their turns by spending the energy tokens that they have accumulated. Now, the game already includes some semi-transparent green little cubes for tracking energy. And to be fair, the little cubes that the game comes with are actually pretty neat. They always make me feel like I'm collecting Energon cubes from the Transformers universe. But anyway, as nifty as Monster Energy is in cube form, it can be made even niftier with these acrylic lightning bolt-shaped energy tokens. Or you could take the energy cubes in a completely different direction by replacing the cubes with these painted resin energy packs from the Stonemaier Games Gadget Pack.
Now you're playing with power.
Who is doing the sound editing for this video? Anyway, as with any of the components that Stonemaier Games produces, these energy packs are super detailed and super cool. But 'tis no matter. For whichever token upgrades that you end up deciding to go with, one thing is for sure, and that is that upgrading the energy tokens makes me want to replace even more of the game's components with tokens. Maniacal laughter. Oh, and the next candidate that comes to mind for upgrading with tokens are the dials used for tracking each player's hearts and stars. Now, the dials that come with the game they're fine, and they're well designed, but I still manage to periodically nudge them and throw off their count. Plus, it can be really difficult for opponents across the table to see what each player's stats are. So, what I'd like to do is replace the dials with heart and star tokens, making it much easier to tell each player's stats at a glance. Now, upgrading the hearts, that is relatively simple. There is a plethora of different heart token designs available out there to choose from. It can actually be a little bit overwhelming to try and figure out which heart tokens to use. So when determining which heart tokens are the right ones for you, it's simple. Just listen to your heart. Yeah, I earned that one. Now, finding replacement heart tokens was easy, but finding replacement star tokens was a little bit trickier, until I discovered these star/victory point bits in 12 different colors from meeplesource.com. They fit the bill absolutely perfectly, and once I found them, I knew that was my star upgrade right there. Well, now that we've upgraded each of the resources that our monsters will manage, let's turn our attention towards the monsters themselves. The colorful cardboard standees that the game comes with, they're nice, and no, they make me cry at night. It's always seemed to me that the game's publisher missed a real opportunity by just going with cardboard standees instead of some sort of miniatures. But to be fair, if they needed to keep the costs down for production, I can totally understand why they went with cardboard standees. Unfortunately, that is not necessarily a restraint here on the Component Proponent. So let's see what we can do to upgrade the mishmash of mighty monsters. First off, a friend of mine suggested replacing the game's cardboard characters with various plastic creatures that are available in packs from Safari Limited. Their figures range from animals to dinosaurs to insects to babies? All right. Well, these figures would work really well as upgrades. I mean, I could appreciate seeing these colorful plastic beasties on the table invading urban Japan, but if you really want to ratchet up the stakes with some real eye candy, I recommend taking a look at what's available from the Schleich line of collectible figures. The catalog of figures that they produce are sturdy and they're detailed, and if you really want to find a 3D monster to attack Tokyo, it just does not get any better than the Dragon Poacher. But even as incredibly perfect a monster as the Dragon Poacher is, it still pales in comparison to the idea of a battle royale between Schleich's oversized Marvel and DC characters. True, using these would be a departure from the game's theme and wouldn't match the art on the power-up cards anymore, but on the other hand, would I jump at the chance to wreak a vindictive vendetta of vengeance as Venom? Oh, that is a certainty in Symbiote. So, there you go. There are 5 ideas for upgrading the components in King of Tokyo. Now, even if these component upgrades aren't the direction that you end up going in, I hope they still provide you with some ideas for customizing your copy of the game. And if there's a component upgrade that you think is worth talking about, let me know, either in the comments below or at components@pairofdiceparadise.com. I welcome your suggestions, and I may even feature them in an upcoming episode. Until then, for more board game news, reviews, and commentary, be sure to click subscribe and follow Pair of Dice Paradise on Facebook and Twitter to continue this conversation there as well. This video was made possible by our sponsor and support by viewers just like you who are watching right now with your eyeballs. So thank you to everyone who's been supporting our Pod Pledge fundraiser. And take care. Till next time, I have been Chaz Marler, your component proponent. Would I jump at the chance to wreak a vindictive vendetta of vengeance as Venom? I may need to go cut some tape. A vindictive vendetta of vengeance as Venom? Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, I can't open the box. A vindictive vendetta of vengeance as Venom? Oh, that... A vindictive vendetta of vengeance as Venom? Well, that's a backwards Venom. Say hello to the camera. Hello, everybody. Vengeance as Venom? Vengeance as Venom? Then again, would I do something with Venom? Would I jump at the chance to wreak a vendetta of vindictive vengeance as Venom? Apparently not. That is a certainty in Symbiote. Oh, that is a certainty in cellophane.